Production support for the weekly special is provided by Smithville, a local provider of fiber optic-based internet, TV, and phone services. Smithville's quantum fiber optic network allows large amounts of data to travel around the world from local homes and businesses. More at smithville.net. IU School of Public Health Bloomington, addressing public health needs by preventing disease, promoting health, and improving quality of life across the state and around the world through research, teaching, and community engagement. publichealth.indiana.edu. And WTIU members, thank you. We're back in the studio for another great weekly special.
And we have some incredible stories about unexpected turns. We will journey to the Dominican Republic for a new Indiana Spotlight. Learn about the fascinating art of origami and design. Catch up at the nationally recognized Comedy Attic. Plus, local favorite Busman's Holiday is here to celebrate their new album.
It's all coming up right now on the weekly special.
Welcome to the weekly special. I'm Erica Sagone.
And I'm Daryl Neer. We're so excited to get started tonight. We have some amazing stories.
That's right, and stories about how life can take you on paths you wouldn't believe. Jim DeWeese always knew that he wanted to help people, especially after being called to serve as a Mormon missionary to the Dominican Republic. But before he could depart, doctors discovered a bone tumor, and Jim faced a life-changing decision.
So, I was 19 years old thinking that I was gonna end up losing my foot, from this bone tumor. And they took the bone tumor off. It was not cancerous, so therefore everything was fine. I was able to go ahead and go to the Dominican Republic as a missionary. And the whole time I was there, I just noticed there were amputees everywhere. Every street corner there was an amputee. Every store I'd go in, there'd be somebody missing an arm or a leg. And so that really opened my eyes because I just had a close call with that. So I was more aware of it.
Returning home, Jim completed his education and began a career in medical research until an unlikely accident changed his course forever. During a ski trip, Jim suffered from devastating frostbite, and doctors were forced to amputate his left leg below the knee.
You can either decide to triumph over it and make your life better because of this, or you could go down the path of feeling sorry for yourself or feeling that self-pity. So I decided that the best way was to make this a positive experience, and that's what I did.
Jim started mentoring other amputees in the area, helping them transition in their own journey. But he struggled to find a prosthetic leg that would allow him the lifestyle he once enjoyed.
I was very much in shape, a very avid outdoor recreation person. I needed to be back doing that. So the only way I could see to do that was to make my own legs and do it the way I could feel that it needed to be done. I did quit my job, moved to Los Angeles, went to the certificate program for prosthetics, got my degree, and then spent a couple years working for different places, finished my residency up, and then ended up opening my own clinic here in Bloomington, Indiana. And looking back, it was the best thing I ever could have done. It's allowed me to have that ability to help hundreds of people here to get legs that are comfortable, legs that fit, legs that work, so that these people can attain their potential that they have.
But as Jim grew his practice, he was haunted by those first amputees he had encountered in the Dominican Republic, where something as minimal as a broken bone can lead to amputation, and where limb difference often leads to unemployment and homelessness.
I ended up going down to the Dominican Republic in January of 2004 to just see if it's still the same, if there's still that many amputees in the country, and if there's any place that's helping them with prosthetics. I found a private office Innovación Ortopédica, but they were focusing mostly on braces because they were easier to make, cheaper to make with plastic. But to make prosthetics, it's very expensive because they'd have to order the feet and everything from Germany, somewhere in Europe, or from the United States. I took 2 suitcases full of used components of feet and knees and parts and talked with them about what I thought I would like to do somehow to be able to make prosthetics there to help the people. And they were very skeptical of if I was ever coming back. I brought the cast here to my office and at the same time seeing patients here, but spending the nights here making the ones for the Dominicans. And then I took them back, got the patients back in, got them fit, and they brought 20 more people in, and I cast 20 more people. And so now, after 10 years of working together with Innovación Ortopédica, we've been able to make over 500 limbs for people, all for free, to help these amputees regain their life.
Thanks to specialized training from Jim, clinic technicians are now able to do castings all on their own, using financial donations to cover the costs of materials and fabrications. Jim makes multiple trips a year, delivering the much-needed componentry he's collected from other prosthetists and manufacturers across the U.S.
My goal and the mission is to continue to help the people in the Dominican Republic have access to quality prosthetics. It doesn't really help anybody if it's just Americans that go down and fit these patients and then leave. It's better to go down and work with these guys that are very, very talented prosthetists and help them and give them the resources where they can provide the services in their own country. And I tell people here that try to understand this concept, you know, when someone in the Dominican Republic loses a leg, the thought of them ever being able to afford or get a prosthetic leg to walk again is about like me thinking that maybe next week I'll jump on a spaceship and get up on the moon. You know, when they get that, it's like giving them something more valuable than anything. So to see a kid walking again, running again, or to see the parents, their reactions, you know, there's the emotions, the feelings that go with it are very hard to explain. That's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me coming to do what I do. To do this for people is, it's a real blessing in my life.
Erica, what an inspirational story.
Yes, and Jim adopted a son from China who has a limb difference as well, and you can hear more about their story in bonus video on our website.
Well, I am always astonished how people can find beauty in the most unexpected places, and our newest Expression segment explores just that.
My name is Jiangmei Wu, and I am an artist and designer living in Bloomington, Indiana. So I grew up in China in 1970s during a time that the resources were extremely scarce. As a child, the only toys we had to make ourselves. So my mom taught me how to make a lot of origamis. Most origami we did, mostly they were figurative, such as birds, the animals. Particularly this one model my mom showed me was really interesting. It's not two-dimensional, it's three-dimensional. Looks like a flower basket. As a child, it really opens my eyes to this wonderful world of patterns, interesting three-dimensional forms, and how the light and shadow plays on the models. Everybody knows that you can do a lot of things with paper. You can cut, you can create beautiful patterns, you can fold. A very simple piece of paper, once you fold, it adds a structural force to the paper. So the easiest way to work with paper is by hand. With my students, especially beginning interior design students, they are afraid to try with their hands. It's sort of challenging for them. I often ask them to work from something that is small. With paper folding, you want to start something that is small. You want to use paper to come up with a motif. And when you have a motif, you want to think about ways to connect the motif and can be compounded to something that is amazing, that's much bigger. As a designer, I'm interested in applying folding to create functional products. To start, I often experiment with my hand only. I work tactily. I just play with a piece of paper. A lot of times people ask me, hey, how do you come up with something so complex? I say, no, it's very easy. It's so simple. Just a very simple piece of paper. You fold and you see what you get out of it. And then you later on, you figure out, okay, can you connect these little things you fold with a little piece of paper together? So I have these ideas in my head, and I play with my hand, and I came up with some very interesting motif. Once I have motif, and I test it out using the real paper models, I unfold the motif, and I see these beautiful patterns, and I draw the pattern in computer programs. Later on, I will cut these patterns using a machine to cut the patterns for me. Once I have the pattern, I have to crease it forward by hand to create the models. It doesn't have to be paper in the future. It can be a piece of plastic. And when you hit a piece of plastic, it can be very easy to manipulate and can be folded too. So there are lots of applications in folding. Can you imagine that a house that can be folded? And if you need a house, you just push a button and then it's unfolded. It becomes something that is three-dimensional. There are so many things I want to explore. I feel like I'm just touched the tip of an iceberg. I would love to be able to explore this type of folding in a much smaller scale, say nano scale. And I would love to be able to work with other scientists, engineers to explore application of folding in all these different fields. Once paper is folded, once you apply a structure or some sort of pattern to the paper and you fold, the paper is something what almost I call magic. And that's why I think that people are really surprised when they see, just a very simple piece of paper and a simple piece of material that they use, they have touched every day, can be beautiful, magical objects.
For more information on her incredible work, visit foldedlightart.com. Erica, her work is so visually stunning, and the production value of the piece just enhanced it even more.
Yeah, absolutely. And talk about unexpected. Our next subject is celebrating art in Bloomington in a way you would not expect.
Yes, and they are getting noticed across the country for their efforts. Jared Thompson was like most Americans in 2008 when his job security took an unexpected turn. He and his wife decided to take the risk of a lifetime, pulling out his 401k and starting their own company.
So we just decided to just kind of brainstorm what Bloomington needed that it didn't already have and what would be things that we'd be interested in doing, basically. And so that's where the idea of a comedy club came into, and that was it. It was just one idea, and we went with it, and people thought we were crazy. And they're right. I mean, really, honestly, if we were to run the club the way that a club is supposed to be run, we wouldn't be open still. Bloomington is not a big enough town to have a full-time club, and so we've kind of like forced our way through and been able to kind of make our way and be extremely patient and just wait for people to start coming.
5 years later, the club has built a reputation as one of the best comedy venues in the country, as named by USA Today in their January 2014 issue.
Everything that we've learned ourselves and just on the job, as far as like how the club should be run, who should we book, because Bloomington is that much different. I mean, we're extremely lucky that what we like is also what Bloomington likes. And Bloomington, not just the club, does an extremely good job of treating comedians very well. And so people feel really at home when they come here. And this is the way that comedy was invented to be shown, is this intimate, small stage, low ceilings, crowd right on top of you. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Given the intimate environment, it's been all the more important for Jared to cultivate the type of audience he wants for comedians, something he believes has been central to their popularity.
Well, I think that we made a decision very early on that our belief was that comedy is an art form. And therefore, any art form is treated with respect. And so we weren't going to allow table talk or yelling out or things like that. We were going to take a stance against it. And anyone that thinks that they're helping at a comedy show by yelling out has never experienced art before. I mean, it's just not the way it happens. Like, you don't go to a ballet and heckle. And so we've kind of, over time, kind of made it to where the audiences that we get are more savvy to comedy. They understand what we're trying to do here. They understand that the comedians that we're lucky enough to get don't really have to come. We don't want their experience to be that we don't care, that, you know, that we are just kind of going through the motions. Like, we want it to feel special every time.
And Comedy Addict's reputation is spread among nationally acclaimed comedians as well, affording Jared the ability to pick and choose those who best fit the venue.
But there is just like this, it's just this it. You know, a lot of people are going to sound the same, and things kind of stay within a certain area. But within that area, I like to stay as different as I can. And honestly, I don't know if people notice or not, because I don't know if people realize the amount of thought that goes into the order of comedians. But there is kind of an art to putting it in a pattern. You know, the two things I feel the proudest about this club are, you know, the level of comedians that we've been able to bring here. And the number one thing is our local comedy scene, like how we have been able to provide a place for people to really start, you know, their career in comedy. Because we have venues that have given people almost every other art form, you know, over the years. And we've never had a place that, you know, we've never had a full-time comedy club that was showing you the art form of stand-up comedy on a weekly basis. You know, going forward, we're a very good place for you to kind of get your first taste of what it would be like to be a comedian in a bigger town, because you're performing with these comedians who live there. And it is a very exciting time for comedy. Like, it's just you know, a wonderful thing for us to be able to share with the town, you know.
For the latest schedule, visit comedyaddict.com.
Or to get more information on the upcoming Limestone Comedy Festival, visit limestonefest.com. Well, we are thrilled to welcome our next guest. Let's learn more about Busman's Holiday.
Well, we're brothers, and I played drums first, and then Lewis played saxophone for a little bit, but then he picked up a guitar, and
yeah, 11. And then I just started getting into music and was prodding Addison to play with me.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, Addison let me play. Let me play with him. And we played good together.
For us doing it ourselves with our music and with what we do with the live show and what we make and stuff, we know each other so well that it definitely makes creatively interacting a lot easier, for sure.
Well, and I think so much of collaboration is involved with trust, so you're not worried about falling. That's the whole thing, you know. If you're worried about falling in front of someone, you're not gonna try big moves. You know, I can go big, and it's not embarrassing if Addison says it sucks, because it's like, well, you know, you've seen me suck before, so that's not that hard. It's not hard to deal with. Yeah.
When we're making music, there's a few different ways we sort of go about it. Either Lewis will have like more of a fleshed out song, and then I'll sort of help him get it to the end there, or he'll have just sort of like a kernel of a song, and then we'll sort of flesh it out together from there.
Your own experience sometimes isn't as interesting as I think if you put that same kind of nice little kernel in someone else's story. And you then with someone else's story, you can give a whole nother part of it that's like within that character's head, and you can get out different emotions than just, hey, I love you, or, you know.
There's a certain amount of that you can relate to something when it's sort of removed from you a little bit.
Yeah.
So like if we make a character that is going through this emotion, we're relating to them as much as someone who is listening to a song can relate to them, as opposed to if we were trying to, give something to people that was directly about us. Yeah.
A lot more possibilities.
You know, a big part of art seems to be just being aware of your surroundings and aware of what you're sort of experiencing.
Well, I think that's the thing. Everybody goes through them, and not everybody writes them down.
Yeah, that's definitely
so
the big
that's
thing.
like the job is just, you take that and that's a good image, and who knows if that shows up in a song, but you write it down, and then, because that one idea is great, but unless it's in a bigger context, I don't think it's truly as powerful as it can be.
Right, and that's sort of the nice thing about writing in stories as well. When you do that, you can take these isolated moments and make a full story out of them. We try to craft our music to be as sort of thought-provoking as possible. And for our live shows, we just sort of strive for entertainment. So we're hoping that people can get across the ideas we have with the songs and stuff, and maybe try to think about some things. But otherwise, yeah, we're just trying to entertain people.
Yeah, we like entertaining.
And now, here to perform a song from their new album, A Long Goodbye, Busman's Holiday.
Something wrong.
Yes, I know I am something, but it seems so hard when it takes so long.
Some will tell you your story. Some will tell you they've already gone.
Too much time I spend worried. Letting go is the hardest part. And then you do something you knew, something that's old, something that's you.
And we are we.
Oh, we are we.
Yeah, you are you.
Oh, you are you. Oh, show me something that you do.
Something that you do.
Oh, show me something that is true.
Something that is true.
Oh, only if you want to.
Yeah, that's not my problem. 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 That's not my problem.
Don't let feelings control you. Honest mind, sing a hopeful song. And then you do something you knew, something that's old, something that's you.
And we are we.
Oh, we are we.
Oh, you are you.
Oh, you are you. Oh, show me something that you do.
Something that you do.
Oh, show me something that is true.
Something that is true.
Oh, only if you want to.
Yeah, that's not my problem. 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 That's not my problem.
You could always count on me if you wanted, and you always did. Time alone is the only one that sees that we get what we want in the end. So just take it from me, my friend, and you will know this. Know that we are we. We are we.
Oh, you are you.
Oh, you are you. Oh, show me something that you do.
Something that you do.
Oh, show me something that is true.
Something that is true.
Oh, only if you want to.
Yeah. my problem. That's not 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 my problem.
To learn more about the first album by Busman's Holiday, visit busmansholiday.bandcamp.com. And look how beautiful this actual record is. Well, unfortunately, that's all the time that we've got for tonight.
But thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show. Have a great night.
Hearts poorly drawn on an old oak tree. People change and the seasons leave, but something holds inside. Light traveled slow as it touched your face. Windows place geometric shape.
Production support for the weekly special is provided by Smithville, a local provider of fiber optic-based internet, TV, and phone services. Smithville's quantum fiber optic network allows large amounts of data to travel around the world from local homes and businesses. More at smithville.net. IU School of Public Health Bloomington, addressing public health needs by preventing disease, promoting health, and improving quality of life across the state and around the world through research, teaching, and community engagement. publichealth.indiana.edu. And WTIU members, thank you.